Alright guys, so this book I want to talk to you about is something I picked up. I didn't know I wanted to read it. I loved the covers as they came out, but I wasn't sure about it. And I saw the trade and I thought, what the heck, it's like 20 bucks. So I grabbed it. And this book is Infidel. So Infidel is written by, let me see here. Infidel is written by Pornsak, Pichetshote. Infidel is written by Pornsak Pichetshote, and I hope I said that right. And the artists on it are Aaron Campbell and Jose Villarrubia. And this book, right on it is a lovely logo that says, "Selected for NPR's 100 Favorite Horror Stories of All Time." And I don't blame them. I genuinely haven't read much horror. I'm not a big horror fan of film, TV show, or reading. Freaks me the hell out. I don't like reading it. Mainly for jump scares. So like Saw, gore, if you will. I recently saw It, Stephen King's It, the first movie in theaters, the 2016 or 17 version. Scared the hell out of me. Great film. Go see it. Or maybe don't. I don't like horror. It feels uncomfortable for me. But because horror relies on, as a medium, relies on sound, creaking floors, heartbeats, creepy music, to really create the atmosphere that scares you. And it scares the hell out of me. I have a friend who's deaf who watches horror and laughs because without the sound cues and the creepy music, it kind of looks hokey. Like if you mute a horror movie, it's kind of like, alright, woo. A jump scare might get you still. But without the sound element, it's not as powerful. Plus, in film, you can easily have, something literally pop out of nowhere. It could just appear on screen and go away. What I find interesting is this comic, this medium, does not allow for it. Comic books do not have sound. I mean, I suppose you could put a CD in the book, but depending on how someone reads, that wouldn't match up properly. And there's a whole bunch of issues around it. Now, most comics, once again, most comics are superhero stories. So think Superman, or slice of life stories like Swallow Me Whole by Nate Powell, or biographies. Think Persepolis by Marjane Strappi. Or explore an idea in a philosophical way, such as maybe Neil Gaiman or Grant Morrison might. So that's where horror stories, like Infidel here, are an unusual pick for comics. Once again, the medium doesn't match. It doesn't work right. And people have tried to write great horror comics. There have been gory ones that make people feel uncomfortable. But overall, the medium doesn't work. But this one seems to. Now, as mentioned earlier, comics are missing sound by the sake of the medium, and jump scares are nearly impossible because, as you're reading through panels, even if I'm reading the top left panel here, I can, out of the corner of my eye, see every panel on the page. So if you're really good, you could theoretically do a jump scare here as I turn the page, but that's hard. Like, that's really hard because you could just turn the page slowly. But what I think is most amazing about Infidel is Pichetshote's writing. So he has elected to go forget jump scares, forget creepy sounds, rely on the tools we have. And he's like knocked it the hell out the park. Infidel is amazing. Please go read it. So basically, Infidel follows the story of Aisha. So she's the central character, and she's your average Muslim girl with some mental health issues and just trying to live her life. She's wants to love her husband, be a good stepmom to her husband's kid, and be a good stepdaughter to her stepmother. And through the course of events, basically throughout the book, we learn that some crazy shit has happened in her building. Not like the horror kind, but there's been an explosion in her building caused by a possible terrorist. And just due to the political climate, this book gets political in a perfect way because it's not preachy, it doesn't shove it down your throat. It's there, just like it is in life. So there's obviously racist issues come up throughout the book, stereotyping issues, prejudice comes up, and it's all bundled in this perfect way as Aisha tries to live her life as a Muslim in America, in a building that's predominantly white, where a terrorist attack sort of happened. And what ends up happening is these ghosts start appearing. And first it's only Aisha who can see them, but very slowly other characters get hit by them. And the way it ties it together between the racism, the prejudice and all that, the hate, and the appearance of these ghosts is perfect. And they're creepy as hell. There's one particular shot where one of the characters is speaking in a group, like one might, and in the wall behind another character she's speaking to, a face appears, this grotesque, angry face. And it's just amazing, the art, that while it's a horror comic, I appreciate that, it doesn't feel like horror. Although it most certainly is, and it is creepy. And the way Pichetshote writes this, and the way that Campbell and Villarrubia draw and color and ink it, and Powell, it just makes this really visually powerful story that is creepy. It draws you in perfectly with the writing and the few visuals they need to give you as the writing develops. And they actually use the medium of words, of writing, how it takes you to read a sentence, how you start off and build to the conclusion of each sentence, each word bubble, each paragraph. They use that tense build-up with tension in the writing and disgusting descriptions or whatever they need to really create this sense of stress and disorder that impacts you the way horror needs to, good written horror, as well as visually with some of these most shocking and dark descriptions. And I think this book is perfect for its time. It's perfect for racial issues. It's perfect as horror. It's perfect just to read. It's amazing written reading. And I hope genuinely that there might be a sequel, although if this is concluded, and the story is concluded itself in a way, I hope that it gets the recognition it deserves, because it's awesome. So please, go out to your local comic book store. Go out. If they don't have it, have them order it. If they have it, great. If not, and they can't order it, go to your local bookstore. Pick up Infidel. Support the artist. Support the writer. Support the colorist. Everyone. Hell, support the letterer. Because everyone who worked on this book has fit into this perfectly. And it is a wonderful little masterpiece that explains exactly how amazing this is. So please, go read Infidel. You'll love it.